I need the pressure to be able to perform. I'm not procrastinating. That's when I do my best work.
Great excuse. Yeah. Well,
Hello, and welcome to the Solutions Manual podcast, where we take life's greatest challenges and turn them into simple, practical solutions that you can actually use. I'm Sarah, and I'm fascinated by nutrition, well-being, and human performance.
And I'm Maciek, a physician and medical leader passionate about helping people unlock their potential. What unites us is a deep fascination with how the human brain works and how to train it.
Together, we will show you how you can rewrite your life story by retraining your brain.
Join us as we explore the intersection of science, the brain, leadership, and personal growth. Let's get started.
great topic. Let's do procrastination because people think it's time management issue, but it
That's
isn't.
a
Yeah.
convenient excuse, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Procrastination is probably better defined as an emotional reasoning problem rather than a time management issue. Procrastination has nothing to do with your ability to manage time.
I think we've all had moments where we've procrastinated on something.
Of course.
And just think about think about a time that you actually did procrastinate in the moment. Like maybe you have the document open or you have your email open and you know that you need to open it and send it or start typing, but you physically are not doing it, right? Maybe you're watching something else or you're just you're actively avoiding. So it's not that you don't have time, you're just choosing to
Exactly.
spend that time not doing that thing.
Okay, great. What are you procrastinating on right now? So I will tell you I have an assignment that is due in 2 days. And I had 6 weeks to complete it. And I have created a blank Word document so far. I have a blank page with a title. That's how far
There you
I've
go.
done. But I believe in my head that it's all done. But I keep procrastinating on it. And I'm very aware of that.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good example.
What are you procrastinating on right now?
Nothing, not a thing.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah, I'm behind on some writing as well, but I wouldn't say that it's because I'm procrastinating. I think there's more of the perfectionist in me.
There's always a good reason
Yeah,
for doing
there's
it.
always a good reason. But when I physically, but there's a physical feeling to it, right? This emotion.
Exactly. It's emotional reasoning.
Either in the explanation of why the assignment, I have plenty of time, or I will get to it later, or I'll be able to do it, or whatever the excuses are.
Yeah.
But
I'll do it
there's
tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'm going to do this in New Year. I cannot
Yeah.
commit to this right now. Yes,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
lots of assumptions, right?
Lots of assumptions. Yeah.
And just being like keeping yourself again in this place of uncomfortableness
Right.
has a physical component to it. All humans experience this, whether you're in tune to what those, or whether you can label them with accuracy, is a separate thing. But the physical feeling and the emotional response is very much a human brain thing.
Let's explain to people what this is because people beat themselves up. They put a label on themselves. I'm a procrastinator. I cannot do things. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
So let's start with this.
I have a good example of something I procrastinated in the past. It was a school assignment, and I think I had about 2 months to write a theme analysis paper. And I waited until the night before it was due, and I got back from a choir trip. I was gone for the days before that, so I knew I wasn't going to work on it. And I ended up working on it all night because I didn't want to write it. I actively avoided writing this paper. We had a very stickler sort of teach. We had to do annotated bibliography in the old style where you went to the library and Xeroxed and highlighted.
What were you actually avoiding? You're not avoiding writing a paper. And I think that because that's true for every case of procrastination, right? You're avoiding the discomfort associated with writing it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, and also avoiding being knocked down a little bit once you start digging into what the assignment is or what the paper required. Oh, I actually will need a lot more time to do this. I'm not as proficient as I thought. I had not written a theme analysis paper before. And by the way, I did finish it on time, but my mom had to take it had to turn it in for me so I could sleep.
See?
Yeah, that's how bad it was. But you're right. As uncomfortable as it is to not start that paper or email or whatever, you have told yourself that the discomfort that you will face doing the thing is worse than the time that you're wasting.
Oh, yes, but this happens when you are a serial procrastinator. Because procrastination is something people train themselves into. We all train ourselves into. Because the first thing is we know this, and the listeners know this, your brain is wired to save energy. And it will reward you from saving energy. And every time, if there's something uncomfortable that you have to do, you will avoid it. Your brain rewards you for this because you have avoided energy expenditure. And this gives you essentially a burst of dopamine.
Yes.
Which becomes a behavioral pattern. So every time you say, oh, I'm going to do this later, you actually say, okay, fine, I will push it back to feel more comfortable right now. And I hope that I won't be held accountable for this. But the truth is, you're training yourself in avoidance over time. And the problem with this, the major problem with this, is that it's not a weakness. People say, oh, I have this weakness. It's not. It's a trained behavior, which is a consequence of emotional reasoning created by your brain's default predisposition to save energy. So in a way, procrastination is an instinct. It's a default way where the low energy or low effort task will always beat anything that requires higher energy or higher effort tasks. That's how it is designed, unless there is something that is immediately threatening. So you will be procrastinating by default naturally and consistently, if you train yourself to do this, on everything that appears to be in any way complex or difficult. So it's not a weakness. That you hear these people on social media, your procrastination is this weakness, you're going to try, you fix it, and so on. It's not. It's like what people are trying to convince you. It's a default. It's a way in which your brain works.
It's preserving energy.
Preservation system.
But then because we activate the reward system and we have emotions around it, it kind of is another way to keep us staying in that place for a lot longer than maybe we should. So what you said, unless there is a threat, an immediate threat, that is one mechanism of how to get yourself to actually start doing the thing that you're procrastinating on.
Yes.
Assuming that it is something that you need to do or that you want to do. So the threat becomes...
Unless it's threatening right now.
Right. So you can try to imagine what the consequence of continuing to not do that task would be.
Yes. So you can create a bigger discomfort, which is an effective strategy. The good one, provided that you're not already a serial procrastinator.
Because if you are, by the time you consider that, you'll have already talked yourself back out of it, I think.
That's one thing. But also another default way in which your brain works is putting higher value on something that is here and now than on something that happens later. Oh, I prefer $5 now than $10 a month from now. If somebody hands you cash and so you can keep this, or you can have 3 times more 6 weeks from now, most people prefer to keep the cash. It's the phenomenon that's been described before I was born in mid-1970s, and it is called temporal discounting, which your brain assigns automatically lower value to everything, whether it's a reward or punishment, if it's far away in the future versus now. And the further away in future this is, it becomes less worthy. So the longer the gap between now and the outcome, the stronger the discount. And you can actually put the monetary or different types of value on how counterintuitive that is. So for example, if something is supposed to be happening, let's say 8 months from now, or you're going to benefit from something 12 months from now, the benefit needs to be 20 or 30 times larger.
Between the 12 and 8 months?
Yes. Even if, yes. So a good example would be quitting smoking. Like if you quit smoking, your risk of cardiovascular disease will be relatively back to normal within 3 to 4 years, well, not normal, but will be returned a value that is not that much higher than for someone who never smoked, for cardiovascular, not for cancers, um, in about 3 to 5 years' time from inhaling the last cigarette smoke. Which means that every person who would logically approach this, they heard about this right now, they should stop smoking right now and never put another cigarette in their mouth.
Right.
But because the benefit is so far away in the future, the reward right now would need to be hundreds times higher than the actual value of their life in a way,
Wow.
purely
Yeah.
because it's further away in time. And this is also the reason why people typically choose low-level pleasure over long-term happiness, because it's simply now. But let's go back to the method. So you said the one way to solve this is to create a discomfort in the moment that is larger, which will seem that the things that you're trying to procrastinate as a smaller problem than the discomfort that you just create.
Right. And be really specific about it too, because
Yes.
make it real. And you asked me, well, you're not really avoiding writing the paper.
Yes.
You're avoiding the discomfort of writing the paper. But for me at that time, getting a C on the paper was way worse of a became way worse of a potential outcome that I at least had a little bit more time to try to correct for.
So increase the cost of not doing it right now significantly. Tie it to something that matters.
For other people, that might not be necessarily the consequence of that. If you're procrastinating a work task that could put your job in jeopardy, that's a pretty serious thing. That might require a little bit more digging into maybe why you are avoiding it, or if there's some sort of technical ability that you're missing, or if the assignment isn't clear, whatever.
Yeah.
You can also just see it as a learning too. You can use it as a mechanism of learning. I'd like to put myself in this uncomfortable position. I'm going to see what it's like to write the first line, right? I'm going to enter and get onto page 2 and write the first paragraph, and that's it.
Great. So now you're talking about, instead of doing a complete task that seems difficult, breaking it into tiny little steps. That's another way of doing this, and complete one of them.
Only one, right?
So make it so easy that the pain of doing this, such an easy small step, is tiny compared to the consequences of not handing in the paper on time.
Right. Okay, I have an assignment due on Monday. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm going to open the document. I'm going to write my name on the document, and then I will save it, and then I will close my computer for the rest of the day. Right?
Yeah, so you're combining two mechanisms here. You combine implementation intention with breaking complex tasks into tiny steps.
And I think from what we've seen from maybe ourselves and others is that if you do that, it's hardly only the first line that you end up writing.
You're going to end up doing more. Yeah.
Okay, so now the assignment's done, and now you can enjoy the rest of your weekend, maybe.
Yes, but in order to train yourself to do this regularly, you need to practice this. It needs to be done regularly. We typically recommend people to write things, if they're using the mental contrasting, which is write down what you're avoiding and then what it will cost you. So you create this future cost, but you bring it now into here and now, make it feel the problem of not doing. We recommend, don't just think about this, actually write it down using your hand. Don't type it in, don't dictate it, write it down with a pen and paper. It's proven to work better. And the second technique you've said is the implementation intention. And the third one is breaking it into such tiny, small steps so that completing one of those steps is just so easy.
It's almost impossible not to
do it. And then you just keep repeating it, because over time you learn to train your brain that there is no need to avoid. Because when you're finally faced with something, the cost of stress or distress, fighting the deadline, also the quality of your work will decline, but it needs to be done regularly. Because our brains are learned by repeating. So if you repeat procrastination, it becomes a habit. And if it became a habit, then you need to put some effort, which your brain will not like to even hear, in order to reverse that. Yeah. But the thing is, those steps are easy.
They are.
All you need to do is just to do the tiny little thing, tiniest little step.
And it'll probably end up saving you time, even though procrastination isn't a time issue.
If you're procrastinating, you don't need more time. You need less lies that you're telling yourself.
And one of those lies that I hear sometimes from people is, oh, well, I thrive under pressure. I need the pressure to be able to perform. I'm not procrastinating. That's when I do my best work.
Great excuse. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
some level of stress. We know that stress is necessary. People say, oh, I cannot be stressed. I avoid stress. Well, that leads nowhere. We know that stress is a good thing. And you need stress because it pushes you towards action. To some degree, this is correct. But procrastination is taking it way beyond.
To an extreme. Yeah.
To the extreme. Yeah, it's a great excuse.
There will always be some sort of due date, whether it's explicit or not. There's always time boundedness to the work that we're doing, if not just the length of your life. Even.
Yes.
So
yes, that's an interesting thing that you're raising. There will be people who work in large corporations or large companies. It will be very easy to train themselves to the point of inaction in life because a lot of tasks that are coming your way in a corporate environment never need to be completed. The problem is that you don't know which ones they are. So it's kind of like a random numbers generator. It's like playing slot machines in a way.
Yes.
Oh, if I don't do this, sometimes you get lucky. So you get rewarded in multiple ways for not completing a task or postponing it past the deadline. Now that this is an environment that is very conducive to multiple problems. One of them is learning how to be inefficient. It's learning how to be helpless. Learned helplessness.
Yeah.
Right? Those environments can foster that problem very fast. It's actually something that we work with people on as well. It's trying to help them to distinguish what are the areas of focus and why before they fall into the automatic trap where the brain and the environment at the same time rewards them for not doing certain things or not completing certain tasks, which has devastating consequences later in life.
If one of those lies that you're telling yourself is that you just can't do it before, it's again not a time problem. Or I have too much work. It wasn't procrastinating. I was doing other things. That's just the reality of what you chose to do instead, leading up to that point. Assumption or the reliance on your future self to be able to somehow come up with a solution or a paper out of thin air is something that we face. This is tomorrow's problem. It doesn't have to be. You can move on before you get to tomorrow. And your future self will thank you for it too.
That's a lie that often tell themselves. I think that the line that I have heard once and I like repeating is that if you choose comfort now, it's fine, but you cannot expect the life to respect your excuses in the future. And what you just said, that's a lie that we hear people tell themselves quite often, that their future self will somehow be better, braver, or more competent or whatever it is than you are right now. It's a terrible belief to hold.
But it's how the brain works. And again, a recurring theme is all you need to do is just take the next small step. Break your serial procrastination.
Yeah.
And save yourself some more time and effort in the long run.
And it's not your weakness, it's your instinct. And if this starts to have impact on your life, you simply need to learn how not to how not to succumb to that instinctual response.
Yeah. Great.
Good. Great topic.
Good luck on your paper.
Tomorrow.